What's up, everybody? Back with another interview. Let's give a quick shout out to the people that keep this channel running. Eden's Den, I appreciate you. Huge sponsor, guys. Make sure to check them out on Instagram, Facebook, as well as Fry's Critters, guys. Big supporter of the channel. He supports everybody in the hobby out there in Australia. Make sure to check him out. He's got Instagram, Facebook. I believe he's starting a YouTube, and he's also starting up on Twitch. So check him out. And then huge shout out to Zilla Footwear, guys. You're looking for some awesome reptile themed shoes. If you guys want to be or put your logo on some shoes out there for your expos and stuff, make sure to hit them up. Tell them I sent you. But without further ado, I'll let you introduce yourself, bro.
Thank you for having me. Noble Family Geckos. I'm Scott. Breeding leopard geckos for 3 years. Came from a long hiatus of keeping reptiles, and that's that. Let's go.
Right out. So how did you get into the hobby?
YouTube, the typical YouTube, watching hatches, egg hatching, and then getting my daughter a lizard. I was kind of like into the genetic manipulation, like the true form of it, dude. I was about to get lizards, yard lizards, and I was about to start line breeding yard lizards, side blotch lizards.
Okay.
I was gonna go for the bluest of the blue. I don't know if you know anything about those lizards, but there's like 3 colors, 3 phases. Anyways, I was gonna just play with those, and then the wife was like, "Yeah, let's get some lizards for the kids," and snowball effect. Yeah, I've
That's
had
pretty cool.
I've had lizards and snakes and all kinds of animals in the past, but it's like back then when I was a kid in the 90s, man, keeping reptiles was a totally different game. I was a horrible reptile keeper. But just over the years of watching the videos and enjoying the content, seeing how much knowledge we gain and how much we can teach each other and how well you can keep an animal, like that's what I kind of really enjoyed the giving the animal the best, because we're really at the end of the day, the lizards, the animals don't get much from us, but we're getting everything from them. So the least I could do is keep their water clean and their shit out of there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's kind of the enjoyment of it. And but yeah, yard lizards was where it started, and now honestly I would still be doing the side blotch lizards, but I don't want any potential for parasites or anything in here. So now
right. No, I get it.
Strictly Leos, yeah.
Yeah, because especially with wild caught, you got to deal with that. We've had to deal with that before because we get imports and stuff sometimes. So dealing with parasites is a common thing. That's why this is why when it comes to that aspect, we have to do quarantine and all that and treat them. And that's why my quarantine is a lot longer than most people. My quarantine is 3 months or it's either 3 months or 2 shed cycles, whatever comes last, which is most likely the 3 months. So we tend to do that. Howdy, Darian, Noble, Plagued. Brad, appreciate you in the chat, always showing love. Ian, what up? One of our sponsors, as well as Fry jumping in there. My boy Fry's Critters. Always showing love out here. Sorry that we were late, guys. I had a bit of an issue that I needed to deal with before jumping on, so I do apologize. I blame the school, but like Magic Boas, how's it going?
Yeah, the comments jumping off real early. They were here.
Yeah, I bring the comments on so that way you can see, because I know because you're on the panel, you can't see the comments unless you if you see the comments, you won't be able to see the screen. So I try to bring them up as they come on, so that way you can see the comments as well. So what all do you work with? Is it just leopard geckos, or do you have like just random ons and end reptiles?
Yeah, I wanted to, my mind started just going when it came to the genetics of it, and in order for me to kind of maximize my potential with the leopard geckos, I have to focus on that only. I would love to. We could go on and on about the species I would like to keep.
Right. Oh, well, we planned to ask that question towards the later end,
okay.
but
It could take all day. There's so
I
many
have
cool
a
animals.
40 spare 40 gallon. I want to start breeding emerald green swift lizards. Oh, that'd be cool.
Those are dope.
Got Bosa, my buddy Bosa in the chat. Appreciate you, Bosa. Um, that actually be pretty cool. So yeah, no, I love leopard geckos. We breed leopard geckos as well. Not on a large scale though. We only work with a handful of genetics. And that's kind of how it is with most of the animals we keep. Is we keep a variety of things, but we have little groups of each one. So that way we kind of cater to everybody, if that makes sense, you know.
Right.
So that way, if you're not into snakes, well, we got frogs, lizards, turtles,
Yeah.
tortoises, things like that
Oh yeah,
aspect,
I've
you know.
seen it. I've seen. Yeah, you've
Um,
had everything. I think you even had a that porcupine.
oh yeah, we had
That
porcupine.
was wild.
Yeah, we had a porcupine at one point. Kratos, my boy. We actually
Yeah.
the one of the breeders that produced him actually messaged me, and his mother was actually pregnant again. So he messaged me to let me know that if I wanted to try well, again with another one that I could if I so chose. But I told him I'll have to really think about that, you know. Um,
That was
I'm
cool.
still getting over all that, but the porcupine, oh, that was
Yeah.
so cool. I mean, the bond you have with that animal was simply amazing.
Right.
And it was cool when like doing lives with him because when everybody would jump on, I swear he'd recognize the voices, and so like he was able to distinguish who was who type thing by just listening to people jumping into the live. I thought that was super cool.
That's crazy. Man, you should get another one.
I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna. I would.
Yeah.
I'd have to set up a whole area in the reptile room for him until he's old, or he or she is old enough to go outside. But I already have the cage that I built for Kratos, which was a 10-foot by 12-foot cage outside. So we still have that cage for when Kratos was bigger, and that's actually where I would go and sit outside with him too, so he would like slowly introduce to outside. So
Which
we
see,
guys might see a little pokey friend roaming around here sometime soon.
is
Maybe
it
this year or before.
is it
Either depending on when she drops, either the end by before the end of this year or beginning of next year. When she has those babies, we're definitely
is,
gonna get one.
is there a comparable animal like a pig, cat, dog?
So
What's it like?
it's kind of hard, honestly, like to compare them to another animal. Like I don't know, like so with rabbits, when rabbits get angry, they thump their foot, and that's
Hmm.
their way of like telling you to back off. He would do that. And I noticed that was his way of like, trying to scare my wife because he was really bonded with me, not so much my wife. So when she went to go get him, he would thump his foot and kind of like try to scare her. And then he made this really weird noise that reminded me of a pig. Um, and that was his way of like kind of talking or like when I would tickle him because he was really ticklish. I'd actually, when he was sitting right here, I'd tickle him and he'd make that crazy noise because he was ticklish. And it reminded me of like a pig. And
Okay.
what's funny is I always got I think if I ever got $1 for every time somebody asked this question when I had him was aren't you afraid or that he's going to shoot you with his quills, or can he shoot his quills, or anything involving shooting quills. If I ever got $1 for every time, I'd swear I'd be rich right now. But they actually can't shoot their quills. Like most people are like, oh, if he sneezes, is he gonna like propel
Like a
freaking.
cartoon.
Yeah, and that was the thing, is that's everybody really thought that was a real thing, that they actually shoot the quills out. And that's not it. Is when they shed their quills, it's just like hair. Their quill is basically hair to them. It just grows in weird. And what's funny is the quill is actually made from the same material as your fingernail. It's all keratin.
Hmm.
So it's pretty cool. Um, I actually still have a lot of his quills that he shed. I still have a ton of them. So what I did is I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I've held them, and I haven't done anything with them. I was gonna do something with like resin or something along that aspect, but we still have a ton of those quills. I was actually thinking about sending them out to people that remember Kratos and stuff,
There you
so
go.
that way he could be in other people's homes as well. It was pretty cool.
That's cool. That's pretty cool to do right there.
I seen a guy make a Moss River stream out of a 40-gallon breeder with just a small water pump that everyone has laying around. Super neat. I have a video link if anybody wants it. Oh, that'd be cool. I don't know if you guys have actually seen my build. I posted a video. I think it's on my Instagram. I have to post it on YouTube. But we created a really cool waterfall feature, tall tank for my frogs, to help breed the red-eye green tree frogs, and they're actually still in it today. It's holding up. It's doing really well.
I gotta
But it's
check that
yeah,
out.
that
Frogs
is
are
a
dope.
process. Custom building tanks is a process for sure.
The frogs eat a lot, right? Like, there's several species I don't get into because with Leos, I can step away for a week if I have to. And so,
Right.
are frogs like that? Are they monsters? I feel like they eat a lot.
So
Like Cresty, I
depending
know
on the
Cresties eat a
frog
lot.
species, it really
Okay.
depends on the frog species. So if you're doing like Pac-Man frogs, you can feed them once a week and you're good
Yeah,
to go, or
they're
you can feed them
gluttonous.
like once, depending on the prey item and how big the Pac-Man frog is. Like one of my adult Pac-Man, I can give it one mouse and it's good for like 3 weeks plus.
That's my kind of
Um,
animal right there.
and like that's how they are. They're pretty cool. They're kind of like snakes. As long as the belly's full and got a good prey item in there and it's processing that, then they last a while.
Yeah,
Um, but if you're looking at like red-eye tree frogs or dumpy tree frogs, stuff like that,
yeah.
that's when you start getting into the whole like
The quick
spray
metabolism.
bottle and having to
That's
mist them constantly and eating a
right.
ton of crickets constantly. Make sure guys to like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. We actually, I didn't notice this until one of another channel had reached out to me. We didn't really start pushing on YouTube until February, and we're already at, from my understanding, we're at 535 or 535 subs. And I had no idea that we had reached this goal a lot sooner than most channels that had started before us. So to be where we're at right now, I appreciate every one of you guys. It means a lot to me, trying to push this going, and to be where we're at, and to have people reach out to me to tell me that we've surpassed some people that have been doing this for 2 years plus, and we haven't even doing it for a year. Is just simply incredible, guys. So I appreciate everybody that's in the chat, and that's been helping us push through this. You guys, that means a lot.
That's dope, man. I can't wait to watch you just keep growing.
Yeah,
You know,
we
you're
actually just planned out a whole bunch of new stuff. We got private tours again coming up and a whole bunch of things. So we're stoked on that.
uh,
So what is your favorite reptile in your collection? Like if you were to be like showing somebody your collection, be like, this is my pride and joy right here. Which one would it
uh,
be?
that would be a purchase right now. I plan on, breeding and making that cornerstone animal to be one that I produce, but right now it's going to be my Atomic G from
Huh?
Suburban Geckos. Chris Charlton, man, he's put in so many years of work, and that's kind of the cool part about the reptile hobby. You can come in and borrow from somebody else's legacy, and you can take from over here too, and you can kind of collaborate those ideas and twist them into your own. But he's got these Atomic G's that are unbelievable. They're holding on to their color for so long. A lot of leopard geckos, as you know, they tend to fade as they get older, and a lot of that color doesn't stick. But this girl is if the camera was great, I would probably maybe I'll take a picture of her and put her on my Instagram today or tomorrow. But her colors are just so beautiful. She is a gorgeous animal. Body structure is perfect. She's always been good to me. The first year I had her, she gave me one egg, which is probably more my fault than anything. But that one egg held strong, and now I'm on my gonna be pushing out my generation threes in next season. I'm on second season, going on three.
Right on.
So yeah, but yeah, it's the Atomic G. If anybody knows those, man, check them out. Check them out. Suburban
I'll have
Geckos.
to
We
look
got
into that. I don't think I've ever
killers.
heard of that one.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the hobby?
What was it? Underground? It was backwater. I bought some geckos off of backwater for my daughter, and you do a little research and you find out, if you want there's rules, right? This is kind of like a game, the way I look at it. Like any good game is going to have rules. You can abide by a set of rules. You can choose to cheat. You can choose to be real stringent. You can do all kinds of, but there's rules. With the genetics, there's going to be rules. There's fatal genes. There's an array of things that you got to go by. There's problematic genes. There's recessive traits and how they work together, and there's all that goodness. So I started digging into that, and all that does is attract you to any kind. I'm a collector too. I love collecting things. So the two of those just converged, and that's it. That's how I got started. Was basically, what did I say? Backwater reptiles. Picked up those two geckos. Realized I wanted more information if I was going to play by my own set of rules. You kind of everybody adopts their own set of rules from their mentors, right? Whatnot. So I got a hold of some people who kind of schooled me on a little bit of a leopard gecko game, and they set me on my own. So then backwater didn't really have the genetic information that I needed. So I realized I still got that guy though. He stayed with me. He's gonna be he's the mascot. He's gonna stay with me forever. And then I started reaching out to more credible, well, I don't want to say credible because who's to say, but maybe a different set of breeders. They're not pumping geckos out just to send out to pet stores everywhere. They're not wholesaling. They're a little bit more into the hobby side of it. Maybe that's a better way to put it. But the
Gotcha.
hobbyist breeder who has, like I said, you want somebody who's got a couple years under their belt, somebody who's been maybe working on some genes a little longer. For instance, there's the snow gene. You could get a random snow gene, but it's kind of hard to tell when they're hatchlings. It's not the best quality snow gene, or you can get one that's undeniable. You see
Right.
yes or no, it's a snow. Like, so I picked from a couple breeders, and you learn as you go. I've collected from a good amount of quality, I would say, well-to-do breeders, and then I ended up with my own collection. I really didn't pick up that many this year. I did get a couple though, for test breeding and stuff.
Right on. See who I normally go to if I have any leopard gecko question, or if I'm trying to add to my stock, is I hit up my boy Geeky Gecko Creations, my buddy Frank over there in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really knowledgeable guy, great guy. Definitely shout out to him. He actually has helped me a lot with my geckos, and it was funny because I mentored him with tegus, and he mentored me with geckos, so it worked out.
Yeah. I think I remember that. I used to follow Frank a long time ago too. I like Frank. He's a good guy. He really gives me the impression that he loves his animals. I know he's got some issues in the gecko community.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but I think he's out there doing his thing for sure, and I love to see you guys collabing for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's actually, I got to talk to him because he's doing, or he wanted to jump on the channel and stuff, and he's doing his own interviews over there. So I'd like to get him on over here again because we did a video. I want to say either last year. I think it was last year. Yeah, it was this time last year. We did a video because he was at the expo, and he was explaining his passion, what he works with, and stuff like that. It was really cool. He's he's a really knowledgeable guy, so I like hitting him up.
He's creating content, which I love that. You got to create the content to bring people into the hobby. There is that issue with the lemon frost and stuff, and I don't hold that against him, but it's not
Yeah.
anything I do or support or anything. But I wish the guy the best for sure. Definitely love how he creates the content though, and we need more of that too. That's why I like to see you growing, man. That's great.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I like some of the stuff he works with. I don't know too much. Like I said, when it comes to genetics, I know a little bit, but there's so much more that I know I could learn, and that's why I love this hobby so much. Is working with
Yeah,
all these species. I don't know every single thing about every single genetic with each species, so keeping that open mind. I learn so much every time.
yeah. I wouldn't get into any of that right now. I mean, I would rather talk with Frank. I don't even think he cares what I think about it, but it's all good,
No,
man.
you're good.
I'm
I get it.
I'm just trying. I'm just trying to. Honestly, there's not a lot that's gonna upset me in the hobby. I see there's a lot of this and a lot of that. If anything, I like some little entertainment, so that's all I
Mhm.
look at it as. But like people don't need to apologize for anything. Like you were saying earlier, you're like, oh, I had to deal with this shit at the school, and I'm like, nah, don't even sweat it, man. There's nothing you could do. There's nothing anyone could do. Like I'll just try to keep doing me, you know what I mean, and bring as
Right.
many people. I do want to bring people together. And I mean, speaking of kind of bringing people together, and I do want to create I call it the U.S. Breeders' Cup, but it's the U.S. Leopard Gecko Breeders' Cup. It's a separate IG that I'm doing.
Okay.
I want any breeders that are breeding leopard gecko, anything they produce this year, they can submit a picture of their gecko for free. And at the end of the year, December 7th, there's going to be a live IG. Um, three finalists are going to be picked by three separate breeders, not me. I'm out of it. I'm not going to be a judge. I'm trying to remove myself. But yeah, three finalists to be picked for an IG live vote, and winner gets the accolades. Winner's going to get a certificate put up on that page, and they're going to get a little bit of a cash prize. Might be around $500, but I ain't saying nothing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I mean, for
It,
sure, man. If you start making posts and stuff about that, make sure to
all
send them
right.
to me or tag me in them,
Okay.
and I'll
I will. I
repost
will.
them every time too.
Yeah, it's going to be a play. I want it to be communal in the sense that nobody can spam, with the 100 gecko pictures that they produce. Just
Right,
three submissions per breeder. Nobody's getting special treatment. You know what I mean? There is that one rule. I mean, it's kind of this is why I thought of it. There's no lemon frost. It's just a beautiful gecko, but I don't want to support breeding it at
gotcha,
all. You know what I
gotcha. No,
mean?
I get
So,
it.
but I mean, other than that, any other morph is more than welcome by any breeder to come on and show out. And it's not really about even winning. It's I mean that'd be great. I mean, but beauty is subjective. There's no. That's why I didn't want there to be too many categories, because I didn't want it to be so tight as far as Oh, I didn't get this. I know my shit's the best. No, it's random pretty much. It's gonna be an
Right,
IG live vote. And the judges picks are going to be anonymous. I got JMG from I got Jeff over at JMG. He's going to be a judge. Mika MS Farms and David at Bubba's Geckos is going to be a judge. So they'll give me their picks anonymously. We'll pick them, throw them up on live. I don't know. Next year, I don't know if I'm going to pick different judges or the same judges. Like I'll kind of like to keep that ball moving around to separate
right,
parts of the hobby, because there's so many corners of the hobby of people that are just more of in a clicks over here and there, and I'd like to kind of, even if it's somebody else in on the East Coast, in that same area with JMG, if I could pick somebody else in his circle to be a judge, you know what I mean, or just move it around a little bit, leave it less of a, oh, it's my thing, my deal. It's great. It'll be great for promotion and stuff, but really I want to give the hobby, the leopard gecko hobby, somewhere to go and have a little bit of fun. I would like to maybe raise, it would be cool to raise money for US Arc or something too, but honestly, like I
oh, that
feel
would be really cool.
that would be good, yeah, but I would like it to be specifically for the winner, and maybe if they were encouraged to donate half of it or whatever, we could do that. But initially, for this is year one, right? We're hammering out the kinks. It's not there's nothing set in stone. I'm trying to feel it out through this year, right? I still got to talk with I still have to talk with my tax lady, try to figure something out, all that. I'm really just jumping in without asking questions and seeing what happens. And if
I
there's
get it.
something I need to fix for next year, we'll do it. But I just had to get something started, man. I thought it would be a fun idea. I was trying to think of something different. You know, a lot of us do gecko giveaways, and I was trying to think of something different that I haven't really seen before. This is kind of what I came up with. If anybody else took it and ran with it, like I said, there's nothing that's going to bother me. Let's go. Let's have fun. I just want us to have a good time. A lot of
Yeah,
us are
I like
coming
it,
into the
man. That's
hobby
pretty
and
cool.
leaving.
Make sure to add me to that, so that way
Will do.
I can share it out. And I mean, I got some geckos that I can throw in there, throw my hat in
Hell
the
yeah.
ring. You know, I
Hell
got
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That'd
That'd
be
be
great.
pretty
I would love
cool.
that. I love
Um,
that.
so what is so? I mean, I think I know your favorite species, and I'm gonna assume gecko. But
Uh,
what is your favorite morph of the leopard gecko?
yeah, that's kind of a tough question too, because you can have 3 or 4 groups and then they have their individual,
Right. No, I've seen that, especially with tangerine. I mean, there's
oh,
the
everybody loves a
super
tangerine.
orange, the super yellow. Then there's like just the faded orange. I mean, there's so many different ones with
Yeah.
that aspect.
Yeah, the Mandarin tangerines are usually loved by everybody. They can get really dark orange. I'll really
Yeah.
want to work on the carotel on some of those. Oh, as far as if I'm looking at, the bells, can't go wrong with a bell. Those bell albinos are beautiful. What do you got? What are you working with?
So I have tangerine. I have super max snows, max snows. I've got the what is he? He's a paradox. Paradox
Nice.
Tangerine, and he's one of the albinos. He's not Bell. It's the
The rainwater?
what was it?
The rainwater or Tremper?
No, not that
Oh,
one. The other
Tremper.
one.
Tremper
Tremper.
albino.
Tremper. Yeah,
Cool.
he's Tremper albino. With the paradoxing, and then he has Tangerine in there as well.
Okay.
And that's my boy Duke. Actually, I think he's right here. Let me see.
Yeah, my best group of I'd say my best group that I've worked on so far are my Trempers. I really love the Trempers.
Okay, that's not Duke. That's the other one. Where is? There's Duke. Come here, Duke.
I got
You got a
my
rack
Tremper
full of
group
these.
from Suburban Geckos. I got a rainwater group that's I'm kind of mixing in wild types. You know, a lot of people like to take wild types and diversify their genetics a little bit. Oh yeah, he's nice. He's a big
He's
boy.
got a little like a weird paradox dot right on his face. And he actually came from Frank.
Who? That's one of Frank's.
Frank from Geeky.
Oh, nice.
He was actually produced over there, I think. If I don't remember correctly, I know he went through like a few owners, and then he came here.
Yeah, I still check out Frank's videos from time to time. He's got a hell of a lot of animals, man. That's
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
for
work.
sure.
Yeah, but he's
I
doing it
think
full
this
time.
one's my
Gotta
pride.
make it easy.
So this girl here, she is I just tangerine, but
Yes.
I mean insane banding. She's got really cool colors on her head here. I'll solo off so you can see her better.
Yeah, no, I can see her fine. Once you get enough, I get enough of low quality pictures for myself to where when I see something, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I like the banding on her. She's good looking.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And what was weird is she didn't have this banding for a while, actually. She was just all of that base orange right here. And then fairly recently, she ended up getting that banding after one of her major sheds. So I thought that was really weird that it just randomly appeared.
They
Like
can
maybe it was
change.
there lightly and then I didn't notice it. But it was pretty cool. And then she's got a super fat tail.
I got one kind of like her. It's a tangerine. It's a Mandarin tangerine wild type cross, but it does the same thing. Its
Uh,
colors kind of developed and changed. Now it's like super dark and it's kind of odd looking. At first, it looked just like your classic hypo tangerine caratel. Where is she?
yeah, so she was produced technically by a animal that we were gifted from
There we go. That's the one I was.
A famous friend of mine. Ooh, look at you. That is
That's the,
cool looking.
that's the one I was talking about. She kind of darkened up. Ta-da.
Oh wow, they're really pretty.
Yeah, what was you saying? You got one from your famous friend?
So this one, her father was actually donated to us. A friend of mine. A lot of people know him under Gasly.
Oh,
He is
is the musician you're talking about?
huh?
Is it a musician?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's a musician.
Yeah. I heard you talking about him with the snake bite. I wanted to see
Yeah.
that video.
Yo, that's him.
I want to see that video. I was almost gonna ask you, but I was like, nah.
It was funny. So it was a 40-minute thing. We were out there and you know how snakes can be. You know, sometimes they're once they gotta get tired of something, they let you know. Well, I couldn't see through that limo tent, and so I had to go off of solely what he sees and what he knows is going on. And when he got bit or the one snake bit, he had no idea which one it was or what did anything. So I was like, "You want me to take her out?" He was like, originally we thought it was the retic, not the Burmese, and because he can't see out of that mask when he wears that mask, he can't see. And so, yo, what up, Ricky? So he can't see, so he couldn't really like tell me what happened. And so I was like, okay, do you want me to take him out? Like we've been here a little while now. What do you want to do? He's like, no, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I was like, okay, all right, like just let's wrap it up then. If they're getting angry, wrap it up. So right. I let him do his thing and I switched him around. Well, I told him don't let the female cross. I was like, she's a big girl. You're a small guy. He has reptiles, so he knows like how to work with them. Well, I didn't know she was the one that was already pissed off. So when she overlapped, she started squeezing.
She was a Burm?
Yeah, she was a Burmese. And so she started squeezing him. He's like, all right, she's tight. And it's because this coil is going down while this coil is still going up, wrapping it. So it was like full wrap. It wasn't that she was trying to hurt him. Perfect. It was her head's going one way and she's wrapped around his neck. So there was no like smooth way to do it, especially when you're a 6-foot Burmese. So she wasn't really wrapping him. It was more she was just trying to go away into his shirt. And she had that overlapping coil. And then so they're all right, like,
They kept the camera rolling?
Oh yeah, the camera was turned on, and what he was doing was he was taking segments and he was trying to to announce his new video that was coming out, or for his music. Okay. And he just had the camera rolling, so the camera got front view of everything. I couldn't see inside the limo because the limo tent, and he couldn't really see out of the mask, so it didn't help any which way. The only thing that had a clear view was the camera. And so then I got the snake off him. I was like, all right, I'm gonna pull her out since she, kind of gave you that little squeeze there. And he was like, no, put her on my lap. I'll be good. We'll get a minute more of like me doing something, and then we can pull him out. I was like, all right. I was like, if that's what you want to do, I'm just letting you know. I don't want you to get hurt. He's like, yeah, no, I know what I'm doing. I got it. We're good. I was like, okay, all right. So then you got me closing the door. I was like, you good, boss? And he's like, yeah. So I closed the door. And it was funny because for a full minute, he had no idea, but she had gotten so mad that she bit the pants. And she didn't bite skin or anything like that. She had bit his pants. And she kind of had like a little coil on the pants. And that was it.
In the footage afterwards or something?
Huh?
You saw it in the footage afterwards?
Yeah, you can see it in the footage. It's right there, right at on his like left leg. She had got the crease of the pants, and she got it and like turned and just sat there. And then that's why he looked down, like he lifts the mask, looks down, he realizes that she's really close to his junk, and he's like, "Yep, we're good." He's like, "I'm done." And it was funny, but like nobody got hurt. The snake was fine. She was just tired of being in that car. And she had 2 other snakes with her. So she kind of had enough was enough with her. But nobody was hurt. He was laughing about it. We all kind of laughed about it. And he told me he was going to make that video. And I think I got like a few people that were mad about it. Like, oh, that makes it look bad. Da, 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 da. I was like, hey, animal communing to other animal back out of my face. And that's, her biting his pants. Yeah, that's just her way of saying, hey, I'm done with what we're doing here. I want to be, away from all this. So it made sense. But you get those people that are kind of mad about, it happening in general. And then you get those Karens that message you like, "Oh my God, you brought an aggressive animal on out here." Da 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 da. This
The white
animal has
spectrum,
been
yeah.
to plenty of schools already since she's been in my care. She's perfect around kids. She's an all-around great animal. She just on that day, she's just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm tired of it all. I want to go, and that was her way of saying it. But he understood that. I understood that, and people that keep big snakes kind of understand. But then you get that person that I work at Petco and I run a Facebook page, so I know everything.
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, I bet you get traffic.
That's how it went. So no, it's all good. But next month we'll actually be on the channel again. We're doing a private tour of the Phoenix Herpetological Sanctuary. Again, but he's going to be with us this time. And we're going to go do what they call the croc walk. So we're going to actually get close or close up with the crocodilians and stuff. So it's going to be pretty cool. So that'll be more content you guys will see on the channel here soon, as him being with us as well as top of hanging out with some awesome crocodilians.
Yeah. How many crocs they got? I don't know.
They have, so from my understanding, they are the largest reptile sanctuary on the northern hemisphere, which I thought was really cool when I was told that. I'm not entirely sure how many crocodilians they have species wise. I know it's a lot. But what's cool is they have a lot of really endangered species that they have insurance colonies with. So they're trying to breed them in captivity, so that way they don't go extinct in captivity. Even if they go extinct in the wild, they won't go in captivity.
That's cool.
So that's the goal with them. And what's cool is one of my favorite species of alligator is the Chinese black alligator. Now they are critically endangered because there's nothing we can do. They're from China, and then because people they're losing their habitat. So they actually have a group over there, and the last time that I went, I actually got to get in the cage and I was right next to it, and I mean to the point to where its tail was literally like touching my foot. And I'm sitting there taking pictures. I got some video of it, and I mean, I was ecstatic. That was super cool.
That's awesome.
Great experience, So this time when we go, I want to do more in-depth videos to kind of explain like what's going on in their habitat, how many are there, why it's so important to have these insurance colonies and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that'd be really cool.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man.
He's talking about bearded dragon. Can't stop bobbing his head up and down now. It's awesome.
I just seen a purple bearded dragon. That shit looks dope. Oh my god, I wanted that one for sure. It takes a lot of space for bearded.
I've seen a lot of really cool bearded dragons recently. Everybody's really importing them in. I've seen like a reddish purple looking one.
That's the one. Yeah.
There's like it's like such a dark red. It's like almost like a purple.
Yeah. That's probably the exact one I'm thinking about. I saw it like
it might be. Yeah, I thought that one was really cool. There was like some really high, like orange colored ones. There's some really like deep dark reds. Almost looks like a dragon scale type thing.
And my daughter wants a beardy, so I was like,
we're gonna get one. We're gonna get a cool one.
yeah. She was honest. We were like 2 seconds away from picking it up from the pet store, but I'm like, I know how this goes already, girl. Don't worry, I got.
And I don't want the run of the mill, dragon here. I want a purple dragon. There we go. That's a conversation piece right there.
I can only imagine how much that one costed. Whew.
So, what was your first reptile?
Probably a garter snake.
Ooh, it's actually a
Probably.
first for the channel. I want you to know that. That is the first.
Really? I feel
Yeah,
like
no, no. Everybody I've
that's
interviewed,
crazy.
the first person to say their first reptile was a garter snake. I like that.
Yeah. We used to catch them all the time. I mean, one we caught one. It actually provided live birth for us. So that was kind of like my introduction to even thinking that you could have baby snakes. I mean, of course, we were a stupid kid. I must have been 10 years old, and they all got away. But still, that was dope.
We had one a garter snake once. I caught it, and I was surprised that I even found one. And then it was funny because I put it in the bucket because I was gonna do a video with it, and it was back when I was a kid. And I opened the bucket, and sure enough, one garter snake turned into five garter snakes. And I was like, wait a minute, what happened here? And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's having babies. Now I kind of feel like a dick. Like, I didn't mean to do that. But
I
the
guess it's
babies all came out good. No, none of them were dead or anything. So I was happy about that. I was worried like I was the cause of it having babies, that stress. And then I was like, oh no, like if it loses the kids, I'm gonna feel really bad.
Was it a smaller one?
Yeah,
It had
it was
five.
a little. Was it a checkered garter snake or something like that?
Okay. Uh-huh.
Um, but it had a few babies, and then in the bucket, and I was like, oh, that's super cool. And then I let them go, and I let them do their thing right out of there. Like I didn't even do a video. It just like I was like, all right, well, I don't want
You
to
just caught
stress
her in
them,
the
and I don't want
middle.
them to die, so I just
She
let
was
them
in the
go.
middle of it.
I felt so bad, but I was like, that's cool that they, like I looked into them because there's the San Francisco garter snake,
That's the
and I
one.
mean, dude, they're blue,
Yeah.
purples, reds, like
Oh,
there's so many colors on those things. They're amazing.
yeah. But they do stink. I don't know about the San Francisco one, but the common garter snake down here in Southern California smells like it musks.
Yeah.
Um, that's the one thing that sucks about them. They're cool to watch them catch fish. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I
They'll
saw
just
a
go. I
couple
love
videos of
that.
watching them like
Yeah,
shooting
yeah,
a
yeah,
mold to try to catch the fish.
yeah.
I just thought that was
Entertainment.
cool.
Yeah. And for the people who don't like mice and stuff, they're like perfect for that reason.
I just get some minnows. There you go.
Yeah. We
I
have
like
we
it.
have we have a decent. I just barely started going out into the hills. Like you just the past few years in the gecko hobby, like I'm seeing everybody doing all this herping and stuff, and it just looked like fun. And then you realize once you go out into just a little bit off into the foothills, you're gonna find wildlife if you're looking in the right way. You could stomp out there and do nothing and find nothing, but once you go out the right time of day, you're pretty much guaranteed to find all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. Really just got to go out at the right time. I know you said you go out and catch like amazing amounts of animals. You
Oh
said like
yeah, we go out and we find a ton of stuff, but most of the stuff we find out down where I'm at is all venomous.
that's what you were saying. Yeah, you
Yeah,
said you
we
have
find
what?
out tons. We find tons of venomous. I mean, like the one night I took FTL reptiles and Way Out West reptiles herping, and it was funny because like it got to the point where we're tripping over rattlesnakes. Like there was just so
Yeah,
many out that one night. It was insane.
I gotta go.
Like
I gotta
I
go.
think I think we counted like 30 venomous snakes in one night. Like we were only out there for
That's
maybe like an hour, 2 hours, but we
that's a
found so
success.
many. It was insane.
Yeah, that's a success. We got you guys catch any of those local banded geckos out there? I'm sure you see those all the time.
Sometimes we see them. We see them a lot. I catch them periodically. Um, but
Should have lined up a
the
group of
only
those.
reason that I catch them is for the so I
Breeding.
actually have a baby sidewinder, and
Oh,
that's
oh
what they eat
yes, I know.
is they
Yeah,
eat the lizards. They're lizard eaters. Um, so I'm trying to get everything moved over to rodents, but that one's so small that it has to eat lizards.
that's one. That's probably one of your favorite. My favorite animals of yours is that sidewinder. Like
Oh,
that thing
100%.
is so badass.
Yeah,
That
that's
thing
that.
is
I
so cool.
love watching this dude just move around. I want to. So right now he's in a little nano tank, and I'm trying to find something that's more longer and wider than something that's not. I want to get something that's more like gives him more space to kind of spread out than something that's like more tall because he's not using the height. Um, Let me see. Actually, he's right here too. Let me see if I can pull him out so you can see him. He's so cool. He's in
I
the
had
shed
a
right now too, so it's super cool.
I had a coworker who had one of those, but I mean, this was like I said, this was a long time before
I may not
there
be
was
able to
really
show
like
it.
wide common knowledge of how to care for animals. And I'm sure that thing died, but it was an old tweaker coworker I had. He had a baby sidewinder. The thing was so little and cute.
Well, it was nuts when I found this guy because we had been finding tons of stuff at this time, right? And I was looking at it was like caterpillar season. So at some point we have caterpillars, and they go ballistic when we see them. Like there's just so many of them that I'm turning the camera because I'm gonna flip it so you can see this baby.
Yeah.
We see so many of them that it's like a horde of them crossing the road. And so that's what I thought it was when I first saw it. That's the wrong camera, facing back. There we go.
How many hot species do you have?
So I only have, as of right now, 3 species of hots. But in that species, I've got this guy here, which is the little baby sidewinder, and then I've got all these babies that were born in captivity. These are Crotalus atrox, the western diamondback. And these guys are eating really well for me. And then my wife and I have combined sidewinders. So these guys are all together here, tons of these guys. But we're
Oh
just
man,
in our limit. We're only allowed to have 8 because I can only keep 4 and she can only keep 4. So that's the only thing that sucks is for as our regulations, we can only keep so many of those. Because we actually don't have to have permits. We have to have a hunting license,
interesting.
and that's how we can keep our native venomous species out here is via hunting license. So it's pretty cool that it's. I feel like that on that aspect, a good thing and a bad thing. Like anybody can just go get a hunting license and grab one of these guys, and then next thing you have no experience, and bam, you get messed up. Like we have the Aatrox, the Sidewinders, and then we also have the Mojave. But we have a morph of the Mojave. We have the Mojave Green. So it's a green phase, and then we have the Aatrox, and then all the Sidewinders.
Pretty good collection you got there, man. I would.
Yeah, I'm
There was a
hoping to
time I would love
find.
to have a rattlesnake. I definitely don't want
There's
to right
2
now.
species I was hoping to find, and I couldn't find them this year. It's the Arizona black and then a speckled. And they're fairly common, but they're hard to find. Like most people that see them, they see them just because they randomly come out of the wash and they just show up on their porch or something. But when you go out to actually look for that species, I've been told that one out of 4 people will actually find what they're looking for those specific species.
Yeah. See, if I had a rattlesnake, I would probably be really on edge, and that's where I should stay. But I think I would get too comfortable. That's my problem. I'll get too comfortable. That's when I get hit. I just know it.
I'm not gonna lie, I've been hit before. So I have been bit a few times as a child, and then into my adulthood, I was bit by the Crotalus atrox. And so my body actually built up a immunity to the venom. It actually like started fighting off the venom as if it was like a common cold.
Nice.
Still find it funny when the one rushed you. Oh yeah, that Mojave that rushed me, that dude was nuts. But no, yeah, my body actually like had a built up an immunity to it. So when I got bit as an adult, I was trying to help one get out of a chicken wire situation, and he was doing really well. He didn't want to try to bite me. He was really good, and then somebody yelled and startled it, and that's when it freaked out, thought it was in danger, so it just whipped around and boom, bit me right in the shin. Um, and then that's when I got envenomated. And it's funny, it was on a 4th of July, and I didn't tell nobody other than my wife, and I went bowling with her family and stuff, like 4 hours after. And of course, with the venomous, you got to watch out because with that you get the side effects of the venom. So like with me and the Atrox, it's you get really hot and sweaty. You'll throw up. There's the nauseous side effect, and then that's for me. That's all I get. I get really hot. Sometimes I feel like I might throw up, but that's it. That's it. I don't have to deal with like the necrosis of it or anything
Holy
like
shit.
that. But my wife, she made me go to the hospital that night, and they did a blood test, and I was like,
You were
okay, so
ready
how
to
much?
fight through it.
Huh?
You were ready to just go fight through it.
Well, I was just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna like sleep. I'm gonna sleep it off. And
Sleep it
she
off.
said, no, it's not happening. You're going to the hospital. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. Like, get you off my back. So we went to the hospital. They were like, okay, there's venom in your system. I was like, ah, great. I was like, all right, how much Crofab or anti venom am I gonna need? And she's like, none. I'm not giving you any. I was like, oh, why? And then she goes, so I don't want to tell you this, and don't let this go to your head. I was like,
Mhm.
no, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's going to my head. Just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
tell me not to go to my head, it's going. And she's like, you're not invincible. I was like, feel like there's a butt coming on. And she's all, but your body's fighting off the venom as if it's like just a normal cold. And I was like, what's that mean? She's all, you're basically immune to that venom strain. I was like, oh hell yeah. Like I was all ready to go. I was like, I'm immune. She's like, immune. No, she's like, your body. She's like, not immune. You're still gonna feel the side effects. I was like, okay, tell me something I don't. And she goes, that doesn't mean you're immune to every venom space, every strain,
Yeah.
and don't go
That's what she
get
was
bit.
talking about.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. But like, a little bit of my safety may go out the window when it comes to the Atrox. Like if I get bit, I get bit. Like I'm not too worried about it. But so no, I still do. I have my bite protocols, and
Yeah.
I still like kind of I use my hooks and everything. I don't just reach in and pick it up and hope I get bit. I try to avoid it. Um, when possible, I try to avoid it. I did get tagged recently in the hand by one of these babies. It actually got me in the hand, and it was the one I didn't see that got me, and it sucked. It definitely sucked. I tasted it before I felt the pain.
Oh, shit.
I actually tasted it, and you can taste. It's like as if you taste like copper, like as if you were like licking
I've
pennies or
heard of that.
something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I tasted it, and I was like, "Yep, I taste pennies." And my wife was like, "What?" I was like, "I think I got bit." She looked at my hand. Sure enough, there comes a little bit of like blood drops coming out of my hand. I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
That's
And
crazy.
she's like, "What got you?" I was like, "It had to have been one of the babies because that's where my hand was in there."
You didn't realize
And
it?
yeah, I just
Damn.
didn't realize it. It was so quick, and so I got hot and super sweaty, but that was about it. That was really it. No, there was nothing else after that. Like I definitely did my bike protocol though. I cleaned it and marked the area and made sure it was all good. But it was a good experience though. Um,
That's
yeah,
nice.
the one she's talking about though that rushed me. I found a green Mojave out in the wild, and I was like, okay, cool. So I'm videotaping it, right, and it's going away from me. Then he turned around, looked at me, and I was like, okay, what you gonna do now? And then he just bum rushed me, dude. Came through the bushes and was coming right for me. And then so I was backing up and going to the left. And as I'm going away from it, it had a clear chance to go right. No, he was coming for me, like to chase, like I don't want to say chase me, but he wanted a piece of me. Like he
Yeah.
wanted to get me good. And it was funny. Because I'm far back, but like he wanted to get my boot, and so I actually sat there at one point after I turned the camera off, and I wanted to see if he was going to try to bite my shoe, and I had steel toe on, so I wasn't too worried about it. And sure enough, dude, he shot out instead of going right, he shot out, came left, and bit me right in my shoe, And I was like, "What the crap, dude? Like, why?" And I looked at my shoe, and you could see he pumped some venom in that boot, right there on the right on the steel toe. And I was like, "Damn, dude, that is nuts." So I had to like clean my shoe and get all the venom off of it. Make sure he didn't like leave a fang in my shoe.
Is that on your YouTube?
I don't know if I posted that one on my YouTube. I did. I think I did post it on my YouTube. I posted on
Okay.
YouTube and Instagram, where I was like, that dude tried to get me, or like it tried to bite me. Because I was like, he came right for me. It was nuts. And I think the sound of it was it's all run, dun, dun, like it was coming right for you.
Yeah,
That one is
yeah.
what I put on there because it was funny. It was
All
out of
right.
nowhere. What could he do with a heat signature that huge? Freaking Clark. That's funny. He's not wrong though. Um, so what is your most anticipated pairing or hatching this season? I apologize for the dogs. They're going nuts.
No,
People in and out.
dogs are Mark. Yes, all right. I got a trimper group that I'm really looking forward to. Like I said, I just produced my F1, so this got some F2s that are gonna come out, and I can show some of those right now. Let me grab one. Let's see. What do I got?
For
What do I
sure.
got? Uh, they're just beautiful looking. Where did I put you? They're WYs, white and yellow, snows, head clips. They got. They're just kind of. I'm just that.
Wow,
I
look at
just.
that.
I love the yellows on these things,
That is
and
incredible.
I
I
think I'm
want
gonna
one.
I'm gonna stud this guy out for sure, man. You got it. I do have a really cool sun glow group that I'm breeding. In fact, one of them was one that I donated to Lucian.
Oh wow. That's the same one, or was that one of them?
No, it's half related to this one.
Oh wow. That
Yeah,
is super cool.
but yeah, they were trempers. Those one that one was a tremper too. Same tremper group.
That is a gorgeous animal. I have not seen a gecko that looks like that, and I now really want one.
Yeah. All right, you got it,
I'm
man.
kind of glad my wife isn't on
Oh.
here right now because if she was, she would be like, "Shut up and take my money," because it's orange, and that's how she is. When she sees orange in reptiles, it's a done deal. That's her favorite color is orange. So she's like, "Yep, here's my credit card. Tell me, just take it. Just take it." That's how she is with those.
Orange is a great color, and it just really pops in these lizards.
Yeah, that pops against the yellow and all that. That is just a beautiful animal.
If she likes orange ones, I got a group of these that I'm not really gonna be releasing any as far as pets. A lot of them will be going out as pets, but they're real
Oh,
orange.
wow.
This is one I'm trying to test breed this guy for NDBE, and I'm gonna be keep trying to clear that out of the line.
That is incredible.
The NDB, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous geckos, but there can be issues when you start line breeding that genetic.
Right.
And then the Mandarin tangerines are real prone to have it in their genetics, just a history kind of thing. It sneaks around in those ones for sure. I picked up a female to test.
That is incredible.
Hey, this girl's out. Here's that Atomic G, the Atomic Trimper Solar Raptor.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
She's the one who's grandmothered my Trimper project. It's kind of hard to see, but
Now you said raptor. Raptor, does that mean that they have the red eyes, right?
well, technically it should, yeah, but it's really just generic for Eclipse Trimpers.
Okay.
It does. The acronym did, start with the red eye, which is kind of. I'd like to refer to my red-eyed ones as raptors for sure. I'll go out of the way to list those as raptors, but
Yeah,
it really
I
just a
had
Flint Flint
some
for me.
raptor rainwaters, and then a tangerine raptor, and I think I still have them. I just in this they're either in that rack or they're in the rack in the other room because there's so many. When you have two reptile rooms, I don't remember exactly who's where. I just know that I got to go through everything, and then I have a whole list and make sure that everybody got dealt with, whether it comes to water, food, and things of that aspect.
Yeah,
Trying to keep track of all this breeding is insane. By the way,
I bet.
it does become a process, especially when you're breeding various species at the
Are you
same
gonna
time.
are you gonna do any software? I know Canova just released some software for tracking. I don't know
So
what he's charging for it.
I did actually see that, and I was thinking, okay,
Yeah.
how can I integrate that with what I'm doing? Because I do more than just ball pythons, you know. I've got the Kenyan sand boas, the ball pythons, the leopard geckos, Pac-Man frogs, tortoises, turtles. I've got all that. So I'm like, how do I go from doing that? Hi.
Wave high.
Can you say hi, buddy?
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, hey, what's up, Lou?
Say hi. He was showing his leopard geckos. You got a sucker and you don't care, huh? I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take it. Go play. I love you. Go play.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be amazing. I don't know how. I haven't even seen his technology or his his product. I don't know if it would work for all everything. I'd imagine he's got it pretty down packed with all the genetics and ball pythons. You probably just plug and play with anything you need. What's up, little dude?
You say hi. Oh, now you don't want to say hi? You just wanted to show your sucker?
I think I'm
You're
gonna go get him
correct.
some candy.
Go play.
You got two kids?
Yeah, that was Lucy, and he was in there for a second. He's all over the place, running back and forth. He's having fun right now because his sister's out, so he's trying to entertain himself. But yeah, he's running around right now. And he's got a sucker, and I have no idea where he got it from. So I should probably ask, but that kid's one of those ones where if you give him a couple candies, he will stash some and then randomly
Uh-huh.
pop up later with one.
Smart.
So it's probably one of the ones we gave him for that he
Yep.
got from like the hospital or something, and he just like found it under his pillow. Like
For sure. I know. I
kid's
try to keep
nuts.
candy away from these kids. They do the same thing. Stash it. They don't get it from me. I got uncontrollable candy issues for sure. So I just don't have candy in the house. And now with these kids bringing it in, I'm just.
Oh, here comes it's Halloween, man. You gotta have
I
candy
know.
galore.
I know. Good luck. I gave up. I gave up stopping it.
So,
Uh,
what is your goal as a breeder?
well, I try to set something realistic. First, it's just, I'd like, I'm not gonna. I never want to give myself too much on my plate at once. Like I'm not gonna dedicate 30 years. I'm not gonna say that. My goal is to stick around for 5 years, but I do have plans that will go past that. But it's just shit happens. You see people coming in and out of the hobby all the time. I can't guarantee my position, but I'd like to stick around for 10 plus years if I can. Because I really enjoy the genetics, and that's to me that's truly the hobby side of it. Um, and the as far as the community, like that's kind of a plus. I look at that as a plus. I didn't even realize that. That's kind of like just what brought me here, and what brings me to actually reaching out is the and trying to get a exposure, or you could say. But as far as just, I could honestly do this without any IG, or you know what I mean. I could do this without any YouTube. Like I wouldn't even mind it if I just did this for myself only. Fortunately, with the leopard gecko community, you need to kind of reach out. You need to do stuff like that and meet people just for genetic diversity alone. But it's really cool the way this hobby has changed over the years. Like I said, in the '90s, man, reptile care was just so much worse. I mean, I didn't know much about animals, and I would be what I consider a bad keeper back when I was a kid, but I still knew better than a lot of other people. I remember one time this guy he had a green iguana he was 3 times longer than the tank was, and I just knew I had to rescue this thing. I didn't even know I wasn't even that great of a keeper myself, but he would clean the tank with Lysol, like an aerosol can of. I was just blown away at that. I was just like, "Oh, I'll give you $20 for it right now." I took it home, set it up, and then I probably kept it a little bit better than he did. But I mean, the hobby is I want to further the genetics and the looks, right? Everything's developing in all reptile community. You know, you're no stranger to this shit. It's coming along, and just to be a part of that would be dope. To answer that, that's just to be a part of that. I don't want to do anything more than that. I don't want to leave a name for myself. I'll just be a part of it, and then I'll go on my merry way with some cool pictures. Like, look what I did.
I like it, man. I like it, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, because I know you don't jump into a lot of lives, and you're always there and supporting in the comments and stuff. And so, like, like when you said, like, oh, I'm not, a big person. I don't, like, I'd love to be there, but
Yeah.
it's because you're so positive in everything you do. You like you said, you were a big help for my son. You donated an amazing gecko for him, for one of his fundraisers. And I
That was fun,
appreciate you
by the
for
way.
that a lot.
That was fun.
And and so, like, that's another reason why I wanted to get you on, is like, one, thank you again for doing that. It
100%.
meant a lot. But on top of that, like, you're always so positive. You're always showing love in the comments for everybody, especially when we do lives on Instagram, even on YouTube and stuff. I always see you pop in. And you're always very supportive and very positive. So that's why I love bringing you on, and that's why I love, having you, a part of everything that we do.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, thank you. Yeah, but it's just like it is like exactly that. You know what I mean? I could support I'm like liking everything. I'm trying to be with everybody on on their channel. Like I don't really, I'm not showing face just to get recognition. I mean, it's easy to say all that too, but like I said, when the hobby's over for me, I I still want to be around on the IG. Oh, we got some Power Rangers. And I like to show stuff with my kids too. I mean, as far
That is
as
awesome costume.
she's the one who got me into the Leos, definitely.
Oh, wow.
The leopard geckos. She said, "What are Leos?" The leopard geckos, baby. She knows what they are. What are Leos?
What are those?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're just approaching the age where they're starting to help me clean and do all the responsibilities. And they're gonna earn they're gonna earn their money that way.
He might want to. What are you doing?
It's playtime.
Lucian's over here trying to let stuff loose. I'm like, what are you doing? Why do I hear the glass? No, leave him in there. He doesn't want to come out. He's not, dude. He don't even like you. You know that, right?
I will put him outside in the backyard.
It's cold out there. He can't go out there right now. That's why he's inside. He'll go outside when it starts warming back up. But he's cool where he's at. He likes where he's at. Sorry. Lucian's over here. He's like, I want to let him out. 537 subs. Let's push for 600. I appreciate you, Fry. Thank you, brother. I always
teach my
appreciate
kids not
that.
to come in and open these bins. That's the hardest part.
I have to.
All right. Hey, Lauren, Madeline, why don't you tell Mom I'll meet you guys there? I gotta go trunk or treat.
But no, that's awesome. I also like the costume. That's awesome. Power Rangers. Always awesome.
Yeah.
Lucy,
Yeah,
I appreciate you, Fry. Fry's a huge supporter of the chat, or always being in the chat. He's also going to be on our channel next month as well. I do have a surprise for him. I got to talk to him about it. I haven't told him yet, but one of his friends slash a pretty big name is coming on the channel next month. So I'm going to see if I can get them both on at the same time. I think Fry would go ecstatic for that.
Okay. Is that a tease or is that
It's a tease. I can't tell
Okay.
them yet. I'm gonna announce it later. I haven't said it out loud. There's been a few. I try to keep who's coming on the channel a secret until the week of.
All right.
Just
Focus it.
because there has been some. That is awesome. I like the costume, buddy.
He likes your costume, man. Say thanks.
Thank you.
No, that makes
um,
sense. Focus
we've had
the
some
attention.
people try. I don't know. It's weird. I didn't think I'd ever have that problem, but there's people that like are competing with our channel, and I don't like competing with people. I see this as we're all in this together, you know.
Okay. Yeah. You got
And
somebody
there's been
sniping your
somebody.
guess?
It came out. I one of my friends that we had on here messaged me and told me that there's somebody going and taking taking upon themselves to message them before or to try to schedule them to go on their channel or his channel before my channel type thing. So like as if it would be like, them interviewed first and then the next person. So I thought it was weird. I never had that. I never thought that was like, I don't see I'm competing with anybody, I'm all about positivity. I want to, kind of
You want it to be a little
bring
bit of a
everybody
surprise
together,
too,
that's why we didn't
yeah.
even start a Patreon, like I want to give my knowledge out freely, and bringing people on that work exclusively with even just one species. I don't see that as a bad thing. You live and breathe leopard geckos, so so much more about their genetics than I do. So talking with you about like some of the genetics that you brought onto brought out, I never even knew about, like that super orange one. I had no idea. Um,
Hey,
one of
that's
our mods, can you take care of the comments popping up, please? There's a random bot in the comments popping up,
oh yeah.
and so yeah, it's one of those random bots. So if one of our moderators in the chat can take care of that, appreciate you guys.
I love watching
But
content that's not for leopard geckos. Honestly, I can learn from watching people talk about their green trees or monitor lizards, like all of that. Even so far distantly, not even close to a leopard
right,
gecko. But there's always something you could take away from it a little bit. It's just entertainment. Like I said, your content, Frank's, everybody who's making content, it's important because there's a shortage of content. You can always have more content out there. I
right.
love when my boy Chris over at Texas Kid Reptiles, like that guy's got he turned me on to several podcasts, and like I'm plugged into those. Just hearing the conversations taking place, it's kind of relaxing as far as if you're especially if you're new into the hobby, you're getting used to speaking reptile. I don't know if you've been in this for so long. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. I don't know if you're even
Yeah,
comprehending
I've been
that, but
doing this for
there's a
17, 18 years, but I love listening to podcasts
there's
as well. I love
there
taking something away from it. That's why I
yeah
do that. I do these is I try to make them educational. So if I reach
yeah we
one
need that
person,
we need that
that that's where that as long as I reach one person and some at least one person takes something away from, even like a lot like this life. Somebody takes one thing away from this and it's a positive, I learned something new. I'm happy with it. Then I have reached my goal.
Yeah, definitely. If you're really wanting to keep animals, there's always something you could take from it for sure. Like you
For
can
sure.
one thing I took from this is that if I get bit by a poisonous snake, I'm gonna get used to it, and then I don't have to go to the hospital.
Well, if you get bit by a poisonous snake, I think you'll be. If you get bit by a poisonous snake, you'll be all right. If you get bit by a
Venomous,
venomous snake,
yeah.
that's when you go feel some funny
Oh,
way.
oh man, how many people are cringing in the comments right now? How many cringes?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see who's popping up. Right now, they're dealing with. I got live feedings dealing with these random bots in the comment. We got some like you have bots that try to like get like pop up links to to get you to go to
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah,
pirated
yeah.
accounts, and that's what it is got one of those in there. But no, yeah, we got quite a few people up in here. We got my boy Life Feedings, Price Critters, and everybody hiding out in the comments. I appreciate you guys out there.
I wish I could see all the comments, but that's all good.
I
I'll see
tried
them
bringing
all
them up
later.
on the bottom of the screen,
I
so
can
that
see
way
them
you can
popping up.
see.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's most of the comments, and then you got I can't bring up the other ones on after that because those are bots, and I don't want to put them up here get demonetized on that aspect just because of it. But
yeah.
um,
Yeah.
let's see. So if you had a chance to earn all the permits, experience needed to own one or a pair of anything, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's the impossible question. To, today, are those the ornate Euromastics are pretty
Oh,
cool. Those are pretty cool. Like they just seem
those
like they
are
have a
pretty
puppy dog personality. I don't know. Something about them. They just seem cool with the round heads. They just. I've always had an affinity for tree snakes. I did have a red tail green rat snake one time. That thing was cool. I think those are from Eurasia.
They're
I
pretty
forgot.
cool.
South, maybe it was
Um,
South.
Now, and when I ask this, most people think to like common things or things you can have now. When the way I word it is, you had all like the
Right, all the
permits,
permits.
everything.
Right.
Nothing's off the table,
Oh
so you
god.
can
Okay.
think of
Okay.
it as aspect of like endangered species, conservation wise. You could think of it that way, or any way like that. Any one or a pair of any reptile. What would you choose and why?
Uh,
It's a tough one.
yeah. Yeah. It's almost an impossible question for sure. I'd probably go with the big old salty.
Ooh.
It's something I could throw some legs at. Something I could throw some giant pieces of meat at. Just go. That would be badass. That would just be cool. I mean, if the sky is the limit, yeah, why not
Sky's the
have
limit, man. You get a one or a pair.
baddest? You can't play with this, salty. Like that's the biggest and baddest, I think,
Or
for
you
sure.
you can play with a salty. You can play fetch.
Yeah,
It may
yeah.
not bring it back, but it'll go and get it.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
I like it. It's pretty cool. Let's see. So, who are your favorite keepers to watch on YouTube or Instagram?
I like a lot of the stuff Florida's doing. Speaking of who I watch these videos every day, but I'm drawing a blank right now.
That's how it goes. If you get put on the spot,
Yeah,
you forget. But like
yeah,
afterwards, you'll be like, "Crap, that's who it was." He's gonna
yeah,
hit you.
yeah. There's those two dudes with who I'm talking about with the gigantic alligator farm, a crocodilian farm.
Gator boys.
No, it's like
Gator
the
is
dude.
either the Gator Pool Gator.
No, it's is it primitive? Oh fuck, I forgot their name. Oh well. That's you know what? The reason I forgot their name is they haven't put out much content in like the past few months.
Hmm.
So I've been really off of that. I enjoy the basic YouTube pet tubers. I listen to all the podcasts. Anytime David over at his place, Bubba's Living Emporium, he puts stuff out. I'll watch that. I watch MJ. I'm sure you've heard of MJ.
Yep.
Over at the Trap Talk. I watch his shit. I watch yours. Like I just play. You see me every now and then. I'm coming in and out. Like I'm not
Yeah.
always like locked on, but I get to watch at work, so I'm not always paying attention. But
Right.
I'm plugging in and out here and there. There's as far as geckos are related. There's a bunch of classic videos. Like I could watch those over and over and over. Let's see. There's Gary Orner of Orner Exotics. He's got a podcast that I like to frequent. like I said, it's almost like there's a shortage of content, even though there's a lot. Once you start diving in, you'll see a lot of stuff. But
Right. I
uh,
noticed that lately. A lot of people, there's really been a shortage of like unique content. There's been, it's more just the same. Like, hey, let's hang out and do stuff, and let's like hang out and just hang out lives. And that's why I was like, you know what? I have the opportunities to do these tours and stuff and try to do something educational. Let's do it. I'm actually so we're doing that, and then we're trying to bring more education into it. So like next year we're going to California. I'm gonna try to see if we can do maybe another private tour of the San Diego Zoo. Maybe get back in there and see like what's changed in the year time that we were there last time. And see like if there's anything new there that we can talk about, stuff like that. Um,
excellent. Yeah, keep it
but
coming.
that
We need a
that's
lot of content.
yeah, we want to try to bring more captivating content.
Yeah, honestly,
Um,
I'm forgetting a lot of stuff right now. Like there's a lot of breeders content out
I know
there.
once you
There
like
really
watch,
is.
it's gonna be after the live. That's when it's all gonna like hit you like, oh wait, it's this guy. Like
Shit.
I hate when that happens though. So here's a funny question for you, and I stole this one from my boy Derek at Derek Reptiles. You guys make sure to go check out his channel. He does interviews as well. Um, so how many followers on social media till you can tell your wife that you're famous? So now you are she's got to take out the trash, not you.
There's never enough.
You're like, I choose life.
Yeah.
I told my wife or heard me say that once. She come up to me. She's like, yeah. When should I expect that? I'm famous now. What you talking about? I was like, you gotta take it out. And she started dying. She's like, yep. She's like, yep. All right. And then she brought the trash can. She's like, all right, you're gonna fill or you're gonna jump this one. She's like piling stuff. I was like, yep, I messed up.
Yeah.
I know. Let's
Um,
have more. Right on, Fry. I got you, bro. Um,
as far as that, that U.S. Breeders' Cup that I want to do too, I'm also doing a separate raffle, $5
okay.
a ticket. They're separate. The contest and the raffle are separate. Like the winner gets a gecko. Winner pays shipping and $5 a ticket. That'll be a drawing on December 1st. Unofficially, officially, all the money from that is going to go towards the Breeders' Cup.
I like
So
it. I like
that
it.
cash prize. I
Make
did
sure.
dedicate $500 of my own money to that, but I would like the raffle to kind of try to fund that.
Fund it.
You know what I mean? Like
No, I
a
get it.
little
I
bit.
get it for sure. Make sure to tag me in it. I'll help you share it out and stuff, and I'll tag some of my people. Try to get a lot of my people in there, and we'll try to make it a big thing, dude. I like what you do, what you're doing. Trying to
Yeah.
bring that to the hobby. I love it. So I'd love to help support that as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can use all the help I can get. I mean,
Let's
I'm
see.
really
I got a
bad at
couple more
promoting
questions
and
for you.
pushing. Sure, let's go.
I so I okay, what is one species you'll never work with and why?
One species. Let's go. Yeah, let's go garter snake. I'll go garter snake. I, I don't care for the smell. They smell like shit, and
Back to the
I've
old
had a
musking garter snake.
yeah. I've had a bunch of them. I mean, as a kid growing up, like I'm at the point right now where I honestly just like to go and watch them, enjoy them in nature if I have
Right.
to. Like I'll pick them up and play with them in the wild. Like that's the best. I don't need to keep them. We got them in our backyards. You know what I mean? There's not an abundance. There used to be a lot in the San Bernardino Valley. There used to be a lot of snakes, frogs. We had the craziest tree frogs. Like they were so cool, and they started damming up the water. And once they started damming the water in the mountains, everything just dried. We used to have like
Dried up.
seasons. There would be just millions of frogs everywhere. Like you would be stepping on them on accident. Like it was crazy. Like they were everywhere, and they're just gone now. So I mean, so as far as never want to keep, probably a garter snake. I'll just put it out there because that's another very difficult question.
I like it. You know, if you ever miss the musky smell, you just go in the backyard and find stuff. No.
Yeah. I heard people say that king snakes musk too. I know
Oh
they're
yeah,
known for
Cali
that too, but
kings are known for it. King snakes, milk snakes, most colubrids. Most colubrids, that's like their go-to thing for defense is musking and flinging it all over the place.
oh, I didn't catch that. It cut
Oh, I
out.
said that's most colubrids. That's what they do this is their musking is their defense mechanism.
Do they all
Some
smell like? Because I've played with some and they just didn't have that
it's
garter
not
smell.
it's not like an always not an always thing. It's most like really defensive. Like when they're
I must have
really in
pissed my
danger
snakes
or
off
feel pissed off.
then. Yeah, maybe I just pissed my snakes off. I was a kid, probably mishandling them, and probably not doing the changes I should be. There we go. Oh, he pulled out a whole box of ding dongs.
You hear him come in, he's like, I want this, I want this. Brings me a whole box of ding dong.
Yeah.
Okay, put that back and then you can come back. And I'll give you this one. Like he's unsure. Like that I thinks I just robbed him of a ding dong or something. What up, Moon? How you doing, brother? Appreciate you showing love in the chat. But yeah, no, it's there's some like the coach whip that have are known to like really be defensive like that and really flighty. And if biting doesn't work, they helicopter their tail, and when they musk, they throw it everywhere. And it's gross. Oh, it's so gross, dude. I had one time I grabbed one because I was relocating it for a lady. It was in her house. And I caught it, and this thing was just flinging it all over. And one of the musking, like it's like pee, got some in my nose. I was like, I can smell it. It was so gross. Oh, it was so bad. I almost threw up. Oh, it was so gross. Cody's clutches. What up, Cody? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you guys showing up and they're showing love in the chat. It means a lot, guys. Still pushing for that 1K subs, and we're trying to hit them 4,000 watch hours. We're only at, I think we're about to hit 1,200 watch hours. So we're about halfway there, guys. We pushing. Thanks for the live streaming on my community tab now. Appreciate you, Moon. It means a lot, bro. So if someone asked you, what would be the first, like a good first reptile for them? And since you work with geckos, or more on the lizard aspect, let's say, what if a family came up to you and wanted to get their child a first reptile and they wanted to be a lizard, what would your suggestion be for them?
It would have to be. It would have probably a well-started leopard gecko. Some of the younger, like a yearling, they can be finicky if if they've been stressed out in transit. And I know I just sold somebody a gecko and they're hitting me up like a week later, like they're not eating. Some people aren't ready for that. They can deal with a little bit of famine if they're stressed out. You really got to kind of dial in your parameters. This is research everybody should be doing, which brings me back to the care that we know about leopard, any reptile nowadays. Like it's so many resources out there. I can't really. I mean, I was about to get blue tongue skink for my kids. I was about to get one of those. I was about to get a couple different lizards, and we did settle on the leopard. That was the journey. We did settle on the leopard geckos. The ones, I hear people complaining about them sometimes when they get the new ones, but mine settled in fine. I think leopard geckos are great for kids. Of course, the kids are gonna probably want to play with them too much. I was able to kind of keep my kids under observation when they played with them, but I know several people, their tails drop, and there's that issue, which kids don't really seem to mind. So, and I know so many people who started off and they ventured into other reptiles, but they started with the Leos. That's actually one reason, I really enjoy the leopard geckos because they're such a great starter animal. Um, they're so versatile as far as caring for them. If I had
Right.
anything else, like, I mean, I haven't got that much. I want to give them as much as possible. Like, this is about them and giving them the cleanest habitat. I don't want them sitting in their own filth. So
Right.
they're fairly easy to clean and feed. Um, as far as recommending any, I have. There are suggestions that I've thought about before that are probably better than a leopard gecko, but again, I can't think of it. um, I think tortoises should be kind of cool for kids. Of course, not a sulcata. I think
I
not
was
a
like, wait a minute. I was
no,
like,
maybe like
I heard that the other day. Somebody had sulcatas and they had babies, and they're like, "Oh, these are great first reptiles." I'm like, "No, how big are your
yeah.
adults?" And they were this like small things. Like I think they're like maybe 15, 20 pounds, if that. And they're,
Right.
this is their first year producing babies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this, they're great. They're great animals." And I'm like, "They are. They're amazing animals."
Yeah.
But you have tiny ones that still are cool with being above ground. So I was
Yeah.
like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait 5, 10 years and wait until that thing has a crater in the ground that fits a fat dude like me, where I can get in there and I'm literally sitting on the
Yeah.
ground and I can sit there without touching any of the walls. Like
That's
it's
nuts.
nuts. I mean I've
Wow.
got craters galore I can literally dive bomb into without touching anything. It's nuts.
Damn, that's crazy.
Um
Camp Kennan, there's another YouTube channel, right?
oh, there you go. It
Kennan
finally hit you.
Kennan,
See,
yeah.
I told you it was gonna.
Yeah. He's got some gnarly caves. Speaking of caves, yeah, cicada. Nah, I was thinking more like a redfoot. You know what I mean? Redfoot
Redfoots are
tortoise.
amazing. I
Yeah,
love redfoots.
yeah.
Or cherry
I
heads,
want one. I want one. Yeah,
Russian tortoises. Those are pretty
those
cool.
those Russian tortoises are dope. Here's a little red eye. I don't know if you can see him.
All right, let
Careful
me
now.
sell you out. I
Two
got you.
hands.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, this one we call him Ruby.
That is beautiful.
This is a main
What?
This one's Ruby.
Oh, Eminem, baby.
Eminem.
Yeah, I like I think for a kid maybe box turtles. I had a buddy who had a box turtle when he was a kid, and that thing was pretty cool.
I like box turtles. I always thought that was really cool that they have that flap to really close their shell up. I always thought that was actually really, really cool to see. Okay, so let's see. I asked all that. I think I only have one more question for you.
Yeah. It's not gonna be a difficult one, is it?
Um,
They're all, I'm struggling with all these
no.
questions.
My last one, or one of the last ones to end this out for you. If you had advice for someone wanting to get into breeding, what would your advice be to them?
Ooh. Advice for breeding any reptile.
Any reptile. If they say they want to get into, I want to breed leopard geckos. I've been keeping them for a while. I want to get into breeding. What is your advice to me?
Well, as far as breeding Leos, it'd probably just start out with a really common, easy to identify morphs. No, no, 1 second. Okay. Um, I'll just say start out with the radars. You know, breed radars. There's like the genetics in leopard geckos can be kind of difficult when you're learning. I know there's several times I've had to resource out to friends or other breeders like, can you help me identify this? And that's kind of a pain in the butt, but there are a few genetics that are just easy to identify. Probably start out with two visual clips. That way, there's no mistake about it. Um, the snow gene is another that can be a tricky one. Well, okay, no, I'm making this harder than it has to be. Have enough room. Just have enough room. That's all you gotta know what you can produce and make sure you're not gonna run out of room. Because I hear people doing that all the time. Like that seems pretty simple. You know, with leopard geckos, you don't want to house them together. They'll injure each other potentially.
Right.
You know, you don't want to end up with a three-legged lizard or have one bite the other's tail off or scratch an eye or something. Have enough room. There they go. I summed it up just nicely.
There you
Have
go.
enough room. With Leo specifically too, you got to give him vitamins and minerals, or you're gonna run into metabolic bone disease, and there's several issues. You know, I guess
What?
research. You know, it'd be simple to say, do your research. If you're gonna breed, know what you have to do before you even start. You know what I mean? There's parameters. There's conditions you might have to deal with depending on the place where you live. You know, Arizona versus California or
Yep.
Maryland. They're all going to be different. Speak to a local breeder. Let's go with that. Let's speak with, get connected, get plug into the community. You know what I mean? I couldn't have done this without everybody else. It's not possible. You know what I mean? Even the books, I would have read a book and gotten a nil of the information that I probably. All right, see you there. Bye, you guys. Love you. Yeah, I would have had nothing if I would have just gone by books alone. You know, you gotta plug in with the community. That's really at the essence of the hobby. I mean, I'm sure you, like you said, you and Frank connecting and making things happen, and
Yep.
you're sharing your knowledge. You got to plug in with somebody who's going to share with you too, and somebody who's got the time of day. I regret saying I will regret saying this, but I always find the time when people need to ask a question. I don't want to be somebody who's hard to get a hold of. That goes for friends and family too. Like I'm always on the line. Yeah, I got people like I got somebody close to me who I might call, and they're hard as hell to get a hold of. But I know that they don't got anything going on. Like, why is it so hard to get a hold of this person? It shouldn't be. Like I'm sure we all have family members like that, but me, I'm on the line like anytime. You're gonna get a call back from me if you leave a message. You know what I mean? Like communication is everything. That's my job. My job has to be communication, or you're gonna have a break in the chain, and somebody's life is on the line. Like so, as far as I try to translate a lot of what I do at work to the hobby. You know what I mean? Quality control. You have to have quality control parameters for your stuff. Like you got protocol for snake bites. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of that. Probably, I'm sure you keep track. Even if it's just a routine, you
Yep.
keep track of everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
Feedings
sure.
and yeah. I mean, some people like to wait. Some people get a little overboard, but I'm all for that. If you want to be tracking the weight of your animals, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
I do that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people do all kinds of stuff like track sheddings. Like, bye guys, love you.
Love you.
I'll be there soon. Don't worry. People track
We're almost
shedding.
done. This is my last question for you. So we're almost done. So don't worry.
I'll meet up with them. They're down the street at the school.
Or is it that trunk or treat thing?
Yeah, trunk or
Yeah,
treating.
ours got that on. Actually, they moved it from today to the actual weekend, or sorry, till the actual day of Halloween. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
What up,
Yes.
Caleb? 555. How's it
Sweet.
going?
What's up, Nick? Come here, Nick. Here's the last one. Here's the last little kid. Come here, son. Get over here. Hop over that. Number 3.
Hi.
Wait, I don't think they can hear you on.
No, yeah, you got me on your headset. I'll wave. I got you, buddy. I'll wave.
Hi.
He's like, who is this weird man on the phone, Dad? But yeah, no. I appreciate that. I like asking that question because I got a lot of people that are just wanting to get into breeding, but they haven't really done it yet. So to hear wisdom from each breeder that I do this with, I hope that somebody takes that away, and that they take away, okay, well, this is something I need to look into. This is something I need to do before I get into the aspect of reproducing my animals and turning 2 into 4, 2, depending on what it is. It's stuff like that. So I like asking that question for people that are trying to consider getting into breeding, and before they get overwhelmed. I mean, especially with like self-reproducing species like the mourning gecko and things like that,
Oh yeah.
before
I
they get
mean,
in. Or
as far as advice too, I mean, I take this pill as well, but stay humble. Like, yeah, like it's easy to get an opinion real fast. You know what I mean? And be critical and jump on a bandwagon, and all that stuff can really get in the way of enjoying what you're doing. It's easy to get in the way. I guess another reason why a lot of people leave, they just get burned out
Yep.
on this and that. But if you take a moment, pause, hold back, remember, I mean, there's the spectrum of morality on across the board, and I I don't know everything. I'm constantly learning. That's kind of why it's hard for me to do these interviews, because I feel like you have to have that opinion. It doesn't have to be a strong opinion though. That's my fault. I get just come up here and bullshit with you and have a great time. I'm feeling really comfortable with this interview. By the way, thank you. I know I said snakes. I know I said poisonous snake. I don't care.
I like messing with you. That's what it's all good. So I was like, dude, if a
Whoa.
poisonous thing bites you,
I'm
I
glad you
think you'll
pointed
be
it
all
out.
right.
I'm glad you pointed it out, because I would have let that one slide. I wouldn't even thought twice.
I like messing with people. Like, I'm like, oh yeah. I was like, it's funny because I seen that before. I had one dude. He's like, look, I found this cool snake. He's not poisonous, right? Sitting on the dude's lap, and I was like, nah, dude, I think you're good on that aspect, but you might want to watch out. That is venomous.
Oh, no way. Really? He just had it on his lap? Jeez. Yeah. I gotta humble myself all the time, man. I mean, that's part of it. We could always use new breeders, though. I need guys like you out there creating the content. We all need it. So I appreciate you having me on, man. For real.
Always,
And
man. I appreciate you. That's why I told you. I was like, even though, and I get this question a lot, is people that like when I message them, they're like, oh well, I'm nobody special. I'm not a big name. I don't care if you're a big name, small name, or just somebody that's just keeps them to keep them, and just keeps them because you love the animals. Having each person on explaining their experiences with the animals that they've had, and on top of that, just all in all, being super positive. Like like I said, you're really positive. I love seeing you in the chat. You're always spreading positivity, and that's what we try to do here. Is just spread knowledge, spread positivity, and that's what I want to try to be about. So like I could be happy with having small time breeders on, or even keepers, and or getting big names on. It doesn't matter to me. I see everybody as equal.
well, that's what's up. Thank you. And on those guidelines too, man. Another name popped into my head. George over at Elite Geckos does Morphtastic. Like he actually brought me on too, and it was a year ago too. I knew even less, if you can believe it or not. So he's got that same vibe, man. I love that you guys are helping us all
Awesome.
out. Yeah, you guys, these platforms help. They help us all get more comfortable in it. Like, I need to branch out more, and this does help me. It helps me out. So that's double. That's a double, man, for sure.
Right on. But no, and I agree. Like I like that. And like my next question would be like, how can my people find you? Like if people wanted to reach out and be like, hey, you're doing awesome things. You're setting up the channels for, leopard geckos and stuff. How can I find, or how can I find you?
IG, Instagram. I do have a Facebook, but I'm not on there. They can they can reach me on IG, Noble Family Geckos. Uh, Everybody go check out U.S. or the U.S. Breeders' Cup. I'll send you all that information though. So I mean, I'm gonna send you that, and
Yeah,
I'll send
send me
you
all that
information
info.
about
We'll
that.
we'll
Yeah,
share it, and then what I'll do is I'll also take the URL and I'll put it in the description of this video. So even after we share it,
cool.
people can
Hell
hit the
yeah.
description, and that way they'll find it later on as well.
And if anybody, I mean, of course, if anybody wants to do it for any other species, they can model that, fucking see if it works. If anybody did it for leopard geckos, I wouldn't even sweat it. I would probably want to participate. I
Right?
would I would send I would send in some pictures of my geckos. You know what I mean? I recently got a camera, and I love taking pictures of them just in my hands in the sunlight. That's it. Like I
Yep.
can't. I'm not smart enough to get it done inside with lights and stuff. But
You,
that natural
I'll be
light,
honest with you. You cannot beat natural sunlight.
it just does
Even
something,
with
right?
the LEDs and all that crazy stuff and all the
That's
fancy
right.
tech that everybody gets, you
Yeah.
cannot beat natural sunlight.
Yeah. That's where the animal shines the most for sure. And
Yep.
it's also an accurate. The crazy part is it's close to what we see. You know how many
Yep.
times I've taken a picture and I'm like, this is not what I see. But that's also a good thing too, because when people receive
Yep.
the animals, it looks better. And
It looks
but
better and
the
it's better
sunlight.
than they expected. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, with my new camera, I get pretty close to what I see with the eye, and I just got to be careful not to overstep it. To where
Right. Make it
people are
make it
like,
look better than it really is. Like,
I paid for
I've
this.
had that happen before. I took a picture of a
I'm
tegu, and one
scared.
dude was like, "That
I'm
dude's
scared of
the guy was like, oh, dude, he's got like so much more white on him." I was like, no. The contrast on this thing is awesome. You're right, but
that.
it's the picture makes it look 10 times better than it really is. Just it's a beautiful animal, yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful.
yeah, you got to be careful with it. Sometimes the pictures are so good that you look at the animal and you're like, I want the picture. But I definitely get it. But right on. Thank you again for jumping on and doing this interview with me. I appreciate you. I apologize again for being late. I had that like I explained with the school bus and stuff.
Hey,
Um,
when your kids are lost, you got to find them. That's the hard part, right? That's the problem.
right. But
Good
I
buds.
appreciate you. I appreciate you hanging out and jumping on with us and sharing your knowledge and sharing your passion with us. That's what I love about
Yes,
doing this.
sir. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Quick
Thanks for
shout
everybody
out
in the
one more
chats too. Yeah.
Oh, for
Thanks for
sure.
everybody in the
Everybody
chat.
that's out here in the chat, you guys are amazing. I appreciate all you guys. You guys, if you without you guys, the channel wouldn't be made possible. Quick shout out to our sponsors one more time that help keep this channel running. Guys, make sure to support the sponsors that support us. Eden's Den, great guy. Make sure to check him out, as well as Fry's Critters, an amazing friend of mine, awesome, sponsor, guys, doing great and spreading positivity in the community. Love that man. He does a lot
Thank
of
you,
cool
Fries.
things. As well as Zilla Footwear, guys. You guys are trying to put some awesome merch together, and you want to get them put on your shoes, like your logo put on shoes, or any of your specific animals. If you guys have the pictures of your pets that you would love on a pair of shoes, make sure to hit up Zilla Footwear and let them know that I sent you, and they'll take care of you guys. But as always, I appreciate everybody here. You guys keep this going. It means a lot to me. But thank you again, brother, for hanging out with us. It means a lot. It's always awesome having you guys on here. Bye, buddy. Go have fun at Trunk or Treat. Get a little ton of candy.
Yeah. Stay in touch, man. I'll hit you up.
For sure, brother. Thank you, everybody, and all right, I'll catch y'all on the next one.